Okay, so right now what I'm doing is wiping down the pan, making sure that there's no excess moisture. There's nothing more annoying than trying to put down your dough and it's sticking to the pan. It gives you such a hard time. But I take extra time to really wipe it down. And yeah, so I take a while on it too. I take my sweet time. But anyway, yeah, it's been a minute. I've been kind of slow with this video. It's super long, so I appreciate a lot of people's patience with this. And yeah, man, I'm just kind of chilling, you know. I make these pizzas a lot. The kids love the pizzas. It's a really easy way to get them to eat their veggies because as they get older, you just never know. Like one day they like spinach, the next day they don't. But the thing about pizza is that they always like pizza. It does not matter what day of the week it is. And if you throw some spinach on there, I know it doesn't technically count as a veggie because, it's pizza. But at least I got them to eat some spinach. So that's a plus. Also, I got Jazz here co-hosting. She's doing her thing. But what I like to do is I like to use one of those giant meat forks to stir the dough around. It makes it easier to kind of work the dough and easier to like mix it in and manage it a little bit more. Oh, are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep on your own? She just laid down. Like OMG. Oh yeah, here's another tip. I like to put olive oil on the bottom of my pizza pan. I'm the type of person that kind of like that crispiness at the bottom, and the olive oil really helped give it that toasted flavor. And so like here's another thing too that I wanted to talk about with pizza dough. Like, don't feel discouraged if your dough isn't like going the way you wanted to go. Like, the longer you work your dough, the more likely it is to like go the way you wanted to go. Or in some cases where it doesn't go the way that you wanted to go, it could do something a whole lot better, right? So, like, yeah, so I kind of work the dough in the bowl first, and you want to really try to get it into like a ball. The reason why you want to get it into a ball, you want to make sure that all your ingredients and stuff are mixed in. Off to the side, I have some flour for like dusting. And also it's so important to have like a little bit of flour off to the side because sometimes your dough can get a little sticky. And dusting allows for you to be able to get that stickiness off of there, right? So you could be able to move it, and then like I kind of put it in the view of the camera too, right there. Um, but yeah, so uh, I'm pretty sure I break all the rules with making pizza because I don't know. I really like working my dough on the pan. I know some people they work it on a countertop or maybe they'll have like a wooden chopping block or whatever. I just prefer to work it all in one place. I I really think it's because I'm bad with measurements. I mean, I'm more of a I eyeball stuff. Like I just take a look at it and I kind of guess. And so I don't know. I guess this is just like an easier strategy for me. Because I can actually see what my dough is doing and where it's going. Now, here's another thing too. I use regular yeast. Um, Regular inactive yeast, and then of course I take time to activate it. Of course, you guys saw in the video before where it just kind of sat in the water and it did its thing with the sugar and all that good stuff. I know there's like this double O yeast or double zero yeast. I'm not really familiar with it, other than the fact that most people use that kind of yeast for pizza. And a lot of times people will see like, people making pizza and they're throwing the dough around and all that stuff. Um, I don't know. I just kind of got a feeling about that. I don't really like throwing my food, and I don't know. It might be just that I'm not like Italian. It might be an Italian thing. I don't know, but I just feel like it's cool to just work your dough on your pan. Nothing fancy, nothing fly. Now there were times when I did kind of use that strategy of kind of pushing from the middle part of the dough to kind of stretch the rest of it out. But I didn't want to keep doing that. It just seemed tiresome. So I just decided to not do it that way. I kind of like doing it the way that I'm doing, like here on the video. Here's another thing too. You notice like I'm doing like a lot of dusting as I go. It's kind of so that the oil at the bottom of the pan could mix in with the flour, and it's also to make sure that your pizza dough doesn't like stick to the bottom of the pan. Because there's nothing worse than your pizza turning out exactly how you wanted to turn out. But it's like stuck when you get it out of the oven. Like it's such a pain. So yeah, and here's another tip too. Like I'm being like ultra careful with the dough. Sometimes when you go to work your dough, when you go to stretch your dough around, you might get a hole in it. No big deal. No big deal at all. Because even eventually, and it can't be like a huge gaping hole, but like a little hole, it'll just kind of fill in when you cook it. Right now I'm folding over like the pizza crust. And so like yeah, you just kind of you can pull at it a little bit, but again, you gotta watch for like the holes and stuff like that. Like you don't want to like pull too hard. Now here's another cool thing too. I did not let the dough like proof for a minute. You do get like extra brownie points or whatever if you let the dough proof. But I spent so much time letting the yeast waterproof that as you can see, I'm like being able to work the dough with like ease. Um, because when you give it time, um, it'll do its thing to where it's not so difficult to I don't want to use the word manipulate, but it's not so difficult to move it how you want to move it, right? And then also you'll see that I can kind of pull at the bread a little bit more. Um, Again, because the yeast proofed. Now, if you're, like I said, if you take more time to kind of let the dough chill a little bit, you can move it a little bit more. But a strategy that I like to employ is I like to have the pie already out. And mainly I like for the pie to already be shaped and everything is because I do have a 1 year old and a 2 year old in the background. And when they smell the dough, they flip all the way out, right? They're like ready for me to like pop the pizza in the oven like right away. So this is kind of a strategy so you don't get rushed. Um, it's something that you can do. Spend a little more time on your yeast water. And now, so here I'm actually making sure that my dough is folded under. That way, the sauce and the toppings and stuff don't kind of slip. Sometimes you get one of those pieces where the crust doesn't really create a border like it should, and your toppings will slip off. But if you just take time to just kind of pinch it around on the edges, it'll hold all of it in. And yeah, like that's just a pet peeve of mine. And I'm the type of person I like extra sauce too. So I kind of get irritated when I pick up my pizza with extra sauce and the crust doesn't hold it. So anyway, I like to take a minute to do that. Um, but yeah, so and I just spend a lot of time like cleaning up and everything, making sure everything's good. And you gotta wash your hands constantly. Oh my god, I can't say this enough. This is one of the reasons why I kind of shudder at the idea of eating, at restaurants. I'm very picky, and I don't mean to go as far as to say that I'm OCD or anything, but it just kind of bothers me when I see that sign in the bathroom that says, employees must wash their hands before they go back to the work area. I just think that it's just kind of crazy. And I can only imagine as sticky as the dough is and as sticky as all these ingredients are, if you don't take time to get under your nose to wash your hands, and I know a lot of these restaurants aren't doing it, Um, it just drives me crazy, right? So a lot of times there will be times when the dough is just kind of sitting there, and that's the beautiful thing too. I'm like letting it proof, letting everything come together. And another important thing is I'm getting a fork as well. Okay, now here's the deal with the fork. I don't. There's like this wheel thingy. I don't even know what it's called, but like when you would even see it like at some pizza places where they have the little prickly thing for the dough on the inside, where they put these holes, these holes. Oh my gosh, why am I so bad at saying that? Anyway, these holes in the inside, within the pizza crust or whatever. And the reason I learned this the hard way. One time I was rushing to make this pizza and I forgot to put the holes in it, right? So I go to, put the sauce on, put the toppings on and everything. And the terrible thing about it is that the, how to put it, the crust, it was like the crust and the inside of the pizza were both like competing. Like it was like the inside of your pizza was like rising with the crust, and that is a big no. Like you don't want that to happen. Like I said before, I am big on like my toppings not slipping off my pizza. I really feel like the crust of the pizza should kind of be like a barrier, to make sure that your whatever you got on your pizza, whether it's cheese, whether it's sauce, whether it's the veggies. I prefer veggie pizza. I really don't like meats on my pizza, but to each his own. The beautiful thing about this whole thing is, um, as the dough rises, it just kind of keeps it flat because you have those little pockets there, right? Not only that, but it allows for like your sauces to just kind of seep into the dough. So like your crust is more of like the ingredients that you put in your crust, and also like you can also kind of season your crust a little bit, which we'll get to that in the next video. There's different ways you can do it, but I'm just doing like a simple version. But yeah, this keeps the inside of your pie from competing with the crust of your pie. You don't want that mess. It's terrible. And yeah, basically all I had to say about that.